Hey folks, it's a beautiful day out in Food by the Word country. Just wanted to stop by just to let you know, sign up for our Food by the Word Life 1 day retreat out here in Food by the Word country. You'll learn about business, you'll learn about surviving in this in this rocky economy. You'll learn about, not only how to make, everything stretch, but how to grow your business, how to transition and pivot through all the changes that we go through and that we're going through and that we have coming. And then you learn how to take that information and shift it towards the future. How to implement AI into your business, into your life. How to build yourself and build your business and build your family, by the hand of God, the way, it's not easy. It's not easy. And, with this retreat, you'll learn, how to survive in this not easy situation. Not only to survive, but to thrive. This 1 day retreat is more than just, it ain't foo-foo at all. It ain't foo-foo at all. It's only for, those who are really, dedicated to really growing, forward and growing stronger than you've ever, probably experienced yourself before in life. But, sign up, it's only, there's only 20 spots available for this year period. And it's a 1 day situation. It's not a, we'll wait to do it again, but sign up today, and we'll be hosting it this summer, date to be determined. The reality of it is this is for people who are sincere in their growth and strengthening their business, their family, their life, their walk with God. They're focused toward the future. Here in Indiana and everywhere else. But this is, we're hosting it out here in Food by the Word country. Northeastern Indiana, and I'm looking forward, to those who have the courage enough to take the next step into the journey of their future. The reality of it is this requires courage, plain and simple. Not that doesn't, if you're fearful, that's courage is derived out of doing it in the face of the fear. So courage is not doing it with the absence of fear. Courage is doing it with fear. You fear the thing, but you do it anyway. And so, this is going to be very awesome. This is going to be very awesome. And we'll take everything that we've, learned over the past, nearly a decade just in growing this portion of business. But you also learn, from the decades of experience that we have growing businesses, working in different industries, just, really traveling around the country, just, not being beholden to being stuck in one place, with one set of rules and everything, but really living our lives guided by God and living by the rule that He's ordained, in our great country. So, go to foodbytheword.com, sign up today. I guarantee you, if I don't guarantee you nothing, it will be worth your while, and you will be changed by it. One thing for sure that I've learned over the past several years on this journey that God's had me on. One thing for sure. First of all, I wouldn't have chose to go this direction had I known 10 years ago what I know now. I wouldn't have chosen it. But that's why God, He doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called, and that's real. And that's what we're, where we're coming from. This, like I say, this is not for, the faint of heart, what I'm saying? This is for those who are really ready to take their journey, their individual journeys on to the next level for their family, for their business, and most importantly for their walk with God. This is one of those situations where you either know it or you don't know it. But if you know it, go to foodbytheword.com, sign up today, and let's get it going. What I guarantee you will take from this is you will be changed. Only God knows how you're going to be changed, but the reality of it is that's why God has positioned us in this position to be able to provide, this help to people for their businesses, for their families, for their walk with Christ, for our state, for our country. But let's go to foodbytheword.com, and I'll be looking for you. God bless you. Talk to you later.